Yet another store in San Francisco needs to reduce its hours because they can't figure out how to not have shoplifting in San Francisco. In Los Angeles, we predicted it. There's stuff going on with the shipping containers that's undesirable, so you're going to want to listen to segment 2 as we reveal how our prediction has come true. And in segment 3, we have a little bit of discussion about Disney World. You know that land of enchantment? Well, not if you're in Shanghai when you're there. So buckle up, keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. We have interesting things to discuss today. This is the Soule of Wisdom, and here we go. Greetings and welcome. It is the Wednesday edition of Soule of Wisdom, and somehow you have managed to find the needle in the haystack that is one podcast out of many.
Yep.
Many millions.
Many.
So we thank you for that. We appreciate you. Because, yeah, it's not always easy to just go and find anybody out there nowadays. But you have found us, so you should now, participate with us. So you can visit us, soulewisdom.com, S-O-U-L-E, wisdom.com. You'll find links to all past episodes. You'll find links to our businesses, to our Teachable, to our tip jar, all the fun things.
Yep.
You can email us questions at soulewisdom.com. It's not just questions. You can also leave us comments. Mm-hmm. We'd be more than happy to read your comments, as long as we don't have to redact too many swear words out of them.
Yes.
That is all we ask. You can... Did I say tweet yet?
Maybe.
All right, well, whatever. I'll say it again. Tweet us at Soule Wisdom. You can also find us on our brand new Facebook page, which is also at Soule Wisdom. Again, Soule, S-O-U-L-E. So, yeah, with me, as always, my wily, widery wife, Bethy.
Hi. Hi.
Widery.
Yeah.
Widery.
Yeah.
Say it. Widery.
Wiry.
Yeah, okay, close.
I'll work on it.
The Replacements. Great movie, Keanu Reeves. Their field goal kicker is like this skinny, Scottish dude who just, smokes while he's kicking. And one of the coaches runs up to the other coach, like, he's a toothpick, he's going to get destroyed. And the one coach goes, he's widery. And then they spend 5 minutes trying to figure out how to properly pronounce widery. So yeah, good movie, check it out. So, Jaja got me this, did he not?
He did.
Okay, so visually gifted, you can see on the screen right now that I'm holding up one of my birthday gifts that I have yet to build. This is Lego architecture. This is the San Francisco, there you go, skyline. They have all sorts of wonderful things in it, like the Transamerica Pyramid, and Alcatraz, and the Golden Gate Bridge, and all sorts of fun stuff. Jaja, by the way, is Polish for grandpa. It is Beth's father. We take care of him here in the house. But, we just call him Jaja.
Yeah.
So, I'm guessing Jaja got me this because we talk about San Francisco all the time.
Yeah.
And what are the important things that we know about San Francisco? San Francisco right now is known for...
store closures.
And...
drugs.
And...
homeless.
And...
defecation in the streets.
And...
hypodermic needles.
And...
theft.
And...
Did I say homeless?
Yeah, but you can say it again because they have a lot of it.
Dumpster fires.
And...
I'm running out of things.
basically, if it's bad, you can pretty much list it at this point. San Francisco is the proverbial dumpster fire, I'm afraid. So I'm thinking Jaja got me that so we can put it up on our shelf when we do our San Francisco updates. But it's not built yet.
No, not yet.
So you're just going to have to pretend that it's on the shelf because we do have a San Francisco update. So what do we know so far? We know all the things you just listed off.
Yeah.
We know that Walgreens is closed somewhere between 15 and 20 stores, depending on what story you read. The number seems to change by like 2, depending on the source.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Okay, we know that Target reduced their hours.
Yep.
We know that 7-Eleven reduced their hours. We know a lot of things, and none of them are good. I'm thinking maybe what they should do I was looking at the Alcatraz on the Lego architecture thing, and I'm thinking what they should do is they should like reopen Alcatraz, but they should just take all the people who want to be lawful and put them there, because it seems like that might be a smaller population at this point.
Yeah.
So they could just like set up their own deal, and maybe live in peace.
Yeah.
I don't know, just an idea, something for San Fran to think about. Although they'll have to make a deal with the feds, because the feds own that. And I'm sure they'll want some kind of compensation.
Probably.
Anyways, before we get too far off the rails with the idea of putting good people on Alcatraz, let's visit Mr. Browser. And what does Mr. Browser have to say today? San Francisco Safeway cuts hours, cites off-the-charts shoplifting and equity problem. Okay. This from Fox Business. A Safeway location in San Francisco cuts hours over off-the-chart shoplifting that has plagued the city for months. I think like a lot of retailers, they've been experiencing increasing property crime and theft crime from their stores. San Francisco Supervisor Raphael Mandelman told CBS San Francisco. I think the last 6 months, from what they say, has been sort of off the charts in terms of how bad it's been. It's sad, upsetting, and frustrating. The Castro neighborhood, San Francisco, the same abbreviations, SF, Safeway. Anyways, the Castro neighborhood Safeway used to be 24 hours, and now they're going 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mandelman said he is working on organizing a meeting with Safeway leaders, San Fran police, and the district attorney to address crime. He added to the outlet that Safeway employees told him police rarely make arrests for property crime by the time they make it to the scene. It's an equity problem, he said. There's lots of low-income folks, seniors, folks with disabilities who rely on Safeway and other Safeways around the city. Safeway told Fox News that their hours were changed to maintain a safe and welcoming shopping experience in light of increasing theft. Shoppers describe being surprised by the cut of hours. I feel it's definitely an inconvenience. Not everybody can make it to the supermarket between those hours, so it's a little frustrating, especially for me personally, said Chris Radkins. Safeway joins a growing list of companies, as I've already gone through, places that are closing and stuff like that. Larceny theft, which includes shoplifting, has increased 11% just from the start of the year, according to police data.
Which we know is probably an undervalued number because not everything gets reported.
Yeah, we talked about that before, didn't we?
Yeah.
That, that's not even going to be accurate because a lot of these stores just said they don't even bother.
Yep.
Because what's the point? So Mayor London Breed says, we care about criminal justice reform, we care about second chances, we care about making sure people are not wrongly accused, but don't take our kindness for weakness, our compassion for weakness. I think people are taking it for weakness.
I think so too, yeah.
I could be mistaken there, but that kind of reads that way.
Yeah.
So, yet again, another business is cutting back because San Francisco can't get their act together.
Yeah.
If I was a swearing person, I was going to say they can't get their S blank 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 together, but they do have it together. It's all over the streets. You know exactly where to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
they just haven't put it in a collective pile yet.
No. Isn't it sad and pathetic, and insert adjectives here, that a city so iconic as San Francisco, a city that has its own Lego set, for heaven's sakes,
Yeah.
with so much beauty going on in such a beautiful area of the country, with all of its history between gold rush stuff and then all of the tech that's there now and everything else. Everything it's got going for it, it has managed to slide into such disarray and disrepair.
Yeah.
That every time we turn around, there's some kind of story about some other business doing something. I'm not going to pull this up on the browser, but I will read from it real quick. There was a Target store on Mission Street, this is from California Globe, the Globe reported that that store was going to close. And Target has since contacted them, and they amended the story at the end because Target claims they're not going to close it. However, Target would not comment on the details of the story. And specifically, one of the details was they interviewed a couple of officers from the San Francisco Police Department who withheld their names for reasons that they didn't want retaliation. But the claim was made that that particular Target is losing $25,000 a day to shoplifting.
That's insane.
A day.
That's not attainable.
And they were asked about, well, why don't they just do like armed police or stuff like that at the door? And the officer just said it doesn't matter. They don't care because there's no consequence to anything. If it's under $1,000, they're not even pursuing it anymore. So it's just like this open haven to just go do whatever you want. This, again, in one of the most iconic cities in the world, let alone the United States.
Yeah.
And it is just an absolute dumpster fire, disaster, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I can't blame Safeway for going, we got to pull back on this. I can't blame Target Target has reduced their hours in their stores. They're claiming they're not closing this one, but if they're losing $25,000 a day, if that's accurate, do you honestly think they're going to keep that store open?
No.
No, why would they? Walgreens has, shuttered a bunch of them because there's just no point. So what's going to happen is these inner cities are very quickly going to become a food desert.
Yeah.
Because why would anybody go down there to do business? I wouldn't. So it doesn't surprise me that these larger businesses don't want to either. I don't know how this ends well for San Francisco based on its current leadership and its current policies. But I also don't know when that's going to change.
Well, when the businesses pull out, then what's going to happen? The people who don't have money aren't going to be able to steal from the businesses. Who are they going to steal from? Their neighbors.
Yeah. No, that's true. And then you're going to have real problems.
Yeah.
Because unlike the stores that don't seem to want to defend their merchandise, something tells me that people are going to be a little more apt to defend their homes.
Yeah.
Though I don't know that California has a stand your ground.
No.
So that'll be interesting, because what happens here then will be that the actual burglars will get slaps on the wrist, while the people trying to defend themselves will get serious charges. Because that's how backwards stuff is.
Yep.
But I guess we will see. I will say this from a business standpoint. I don't blame any of these businesses for closing their stores, lowering their hours, any of that.
Nope.
At this point, what's the point of doing business there? This makes me more and more happy every time I read stuff like this, that our businesses are all based online.
Yeah.
I would not want a brick and mortar at this point. Even in a good place, honestly. I mean, here in the Phoenix area, we're pretty stable, but who knows for how long.
Yeah.
I mean, the cities, one by one, seem to be falling more and more. And I figure it's only a matter of time before it gets here, too. So,
Yep.
Heaven help us all when it happens. All right, on that somber note, I think we should probably take a break, retool ourselves for another discussion on a slightly similar topic, however. So, get ready for that. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Dressed to impress like it's prom night. And when you live in top shelf, you know you gotta set the bar high. Had the same dreams since we was kids. Big trips, big cars, and even bigger cribs. Never thought that it would happen just the way it did. Fast forward that now, it's just the way we live. That's good food and drinks. My mood makes you think that this life's made for a king. The room starts to shake, so smooth if you blink, you might just miss the whole thing.
Welcome back. Segment 2 of the Soule of Wisdom Wednesday edition. The Hump Day edition, as they say. I don't know. We don't have a hump day. We work 7 days a week.
Yeah. Just all blends
There
together.
is no top of the hill for us.
No.
It's just, who was it who pushes the boulder up the hill? Sisyphus?
I don't remember. I was picturing the stories like your grandparents. We walked uphill to school both ways, like that.
Yeah, barefoot in a snowstorm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, that being self-employed is kind of like that.
Uh-huh.
Only maybe it pays a little better.
It doesn't snow in Phoenix.
That's true. It does not snow here. Instead, we walk up the hill barefoot in 120 degrees with our feet on fire.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So anyways, on that note, so last segment we talked about San Francisco.
Yes.
Okay. Let's shift gears. Let's talk about LA. What is LA known for these days?
The shipping crisis.
And?
More homeless.
And?
Homeless with drug problems.
And?
Probably feces on the streets.
And?
Crime, of course.
And?
Mandates.
And?
I'm running out of things.
Hollywood.
Oh, Hollywood.
Hollywood's not related to this.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they're partaking in what I'm about to talk about.
Probably not.
But yeah, so many of the same things that San Francisco is known for right now. It really makes me... The thing is, we're actually within driving distance of the Pacific. We could go enjoy these places. And there are places that we've enjoyed in the past. Like, one of our favorite places in LA is the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Just go there and graze on food all day.
It's probably not even open now because of distancing and such.
Yeah, I don't know how that place works because that's so tightly cramped.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would social distance there, which means it's probably been destroyed at this point. It's a sliver of what it once was. But I have no motivation, despite being within reach of it, to actually go to the coast.
Me either.
No. What's the point? And yeah, I mean, it's all on fire. But I really wanted to talk about a prediction that we made that appears to be coming true. So we've been talking about the shipping crisis. That was the first thing you mentioned when I said what's going on with Los Angeles. And so we're talking about how they're dumping shipping containers on top of Hondas and just parking them in Aunt Millie's driveway and wherever they can stash these things, right?
Yeah. Up to, you've seen 7 tall now, right?
7 tall is the highest I can confirm at this time at the ports. That's probably because the cranes can't get it to an 8th story if I had to make a guess, but who knows? Which is why they then have to go stack them on Hondas.
Yeah.
They just can't get it any higher. So the one prediction that we made was that sooner or later they were going to start to loot these containers. And theft would occur in abundance.
Yes.
Once again, dear listeners, we are right. Up on Mr. Browser, for those of you who are visually gifted, feel free to play along. This from Fox Business. Los Angeles Railroad, lined with homeless encampments, sees rash of cargo container burglaries. Union Pacific says it's working with local authorities to address the issue. Good luck with that. Backlog of cargo containers making their way from the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach saw widespread burglaries as they were carried on trains through an area of tracks lined by homeless encampments. Thousands of boxes were seen laying near the train tracks as far as the eye could see in Los Angeles Lincoln Park, according to NBC4. A FedEx container and several others had their doors wide open and boxes tipping over. Well, that makes me want to use FedEx.
Right.
The
Why aren't
areas.
those things locked?
Well, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
That's the fun part of this story.
Okay.
The area is lined by homeless encampments on either side of the tracks. The outlet also spotted 2 men jumping off of a moving train carrying bolt cutters.
Ah.
So, see?
So they're well prepared.
I was 2 sentences away from answering your question. Yeah. No, this is like organized. Union Pacific said it was aware of the theft, working with local police. The transport company did not immediately respond to Fox's request for comment. Incident comes as supply chain crisis continues, with 77 ships anchored offshore as of Monday. So again, it seems to float between 75 and 100 depending on the day. So they talk about how the ports, Biden is like begging them to go 24 hours.
Yeah.
But the ports say they can't currently operate all hours of the day until trucking companies and warehouses also increase their hours of operation. In the meantime, cargo containers are in safe locations, according to port official.
Okay.
There is no safer place to put a shipping container than on a Honda or in Aunt Millie's driveway.
Or just leave it out in the ocean where it can catch on fire.
Yeah, or you can just float them out there until it's time and then just, tow them by tugboat or whatever. What an absolute mess.
So bad.
But we called it. We said sooner or later they're going to start,
Yep.
breaking into these things, and there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So it was funny to me, though, reading through that. The two things, obviously, they're being stored in a safe location was just hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally secure, as we can see now. But then as well, when they were talking about Biden wanting the port open 24 hours, and we talked about this too, when he said that. When he's like, I'm going to make them be open 24 hours. We even said, well, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Are you going to have trucks running in 24 hours when we're short 60 to 80,000 drivers that are going to take these goods to warehouses that don't really exist?
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
because he said he worked with Walmart and they were gonna like house stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah. Walmart was going to just open up their warehouses, except that, again, is not how it works now.
Yeah.
How it works is just-in-time delivery. The idea is as soon as something comes in, it goes to the shelf and you move it.
Well, it seems like it was just in time for those thieves. They were ready.
Oh, yeah, no. That's called just-in-time thievery. They've got the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just... Oh, good Lord. Every day when I think that it can't get any worse...
It gets worse.
It gets worse. Yesterday we actually sent out an email to our subscriber base from our businesses, and we said in the email, look, if you haven't been in a store lately, the shelves are thin for this time of year, during a time when they should just be packed. And it isn't going to get any better. So we're telling our customers, look, shop small, shop local. We would love it if you would consider shopping with us, but we realize that we don't sell everything. We're not going to fit everybody's needs. So we've just flat told them in the email, look, go find another small business then. Go find another local establishment, because these people will be able to pivot and adapt and work with what they've got. Meanwhile, the big businesses are all tied up because all their stuff is either sitting in a quote-unquote secure location, haha,
Yeah.
or it's apparently being ransacked as it's leaving the city.
Yeah.
So, what a nightmare. See, this is what happens, though, when things aren't as localized anymore, when you start to push them out further and further now into this like global kind of system where you're moving goods across the planet and everybody's all interactive all of a sudden, but you've got to cross these great distances to do it. And if there's any hiccup in that system, good luck getting it restarted again, because we've figured this out. We made the hiccup when we shut everything down last year. And now you're trying to start it back up again, but the balance is gone now.
Yeah.
And this balance took a lot of time to kind of work its way in. So, in the meantime, because it's unbalanced, what happens? Chaos ensues. Hondas die and product gets stolen.
Well, yeah, and everybody has decided that nobody wants to work and stuff should just be handed to them, and
Yeah.
the whole mentality has gotten worse.
Yeah, and obviously there's a certain segment of the population now that has just flat said, well, if it's not going to be handed to me, I'm just going to go take what I think is mine.
Yep.
So now we raid the shipping containers with bolt cutters and courage and just start throwing it off the train as it goes by, and whatever you get, you get.
Yep.
I'm curious what they got.
Probably an assortment of things.
Probably. How much of it will be useful at a homeless camp, I don't know. But, whatever. I'm sure they can sell it.
I was just going to say they'll probably work with somebody who can, offer it on eBay or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's modern America for you right there.
Yep.
Does this feel like your country? Doesn't feel like it to me.
Me either.
But what do I know? Oh well. So again, we called it on shipping. I can't wait to see what it is that we've called next.
Yeah.
Give it a day or two. Something else will come up. Alrighty. I want to take a break. I want something to drink. I want to retool my brain for yet another fun discussion that I don't remember what it is. So I should probably go figure that out.
Probably.
Before we go into segment 3 just completely blind. So I'm going to go get my brain straight, and we'll be right back.
I'm going in one time, these record labels all in my face, trying to forfeit my race, but still I'm going in one time, no matter the opposition I face, staying true to my faith. I'm about to give them what they want, what they need, what they ask for, give them what they want, what they need, what they ask for, give them what they want, what they need, what they ask for, give them what they want, what they need, what they ask for.
Yeah, are you not entertained? Ain't this what they tell you hustle for?
Segment 3, dear listeners, here on the Wednesday edition at the Soule of Wisdom. Hey, good news. I finally remembered what it was we were going to talk about.
That's good.
Yay! It only took, digging through about 20 open tabs, and, maybe I should start making notes.
Perhaps.
See, what I do for these shows, it's very scientific. We've got, a list of stuff that's, constantly evolving. So there's, 50 tabs that are open on the screen. And then we just kind of go through them and go, let's do this one, and this one, because they're important today, or at least we think they are. But then I don't close any other tabs. I leave them open because at some point I'll go back to them, and maybe that makes tomorrow's cut or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that what's going to happen within about 3-4 more weeks of this system is that the computer is just going to explode.
Perhaps.
And it's going to happen.
It'll freeze for
It's going to
sure.
happen mid-episode, because it's the same computer that I use to control everything and record everything. So it's all going to go poof, and then we're just going to vanish.
Well, that would be sad.
It would be sad. Maybe we should have a backup computer or a better system.
Perhaps.
We'll figure it out. Anywho, so when I say magical kingdom, you say...
Overpriced?
Oh, I was going to say you say Disney.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, overpriced definitely fits. Yeah, you have to mortgage your house to take the family to Disney now. And then if you actually want to do anything there, you have to pay for the speed pass or whatever it is that they call it, so you can skip to the front of the line.
Yeah.
And then even that, only gets you so close to the front of the line.
They actually just raised all their prices too.
Of course they did.
Because of all of the everything.
Yeah. So what is it, $500 a person for an hour now?
I don't know. I can look it up. Hang
Oh,
on.
okay. Well, while you do that, I'll continue to riff on the ridiculousness of it. But yeah, it's crazy expensive for what it is. If you're interested sometime, go out on YouTube and search for keywords like abandoned Disney properties or abandoned Disney attractions, and you'll find some of the crazy stuff that they do. Like at Disney World, there's an entire island right in the middle of the park that they just abandoned. And it's overgrown and everything else now, and they're not doing anything with it. It's just this eyesore sitting in the middle of Disney World. And I think I was on that island as a kid too. I seem to recall actually being on that island when I was there. But I don't remember much of Disney World, so heaven only knows. Anyways, they have a Disney World in China. Because even the Chinese want to go to the magical kingdom.
Yeah.
Probably more so than we do, so they can escape their communist rulers, at least for a little while in their minds, right? Wrong. You can never escape the thumb of the Chinese authorities, and I'm going to show you why. Pulling up on Mr. Browser. Oh, hold up. Beth putting something in front of me. Okay. $104
From $104
From
a day
$104.
per person.
What's the 2 and the 3? That doesn't read right.
Number of days. It says select the number of days.
Oh.
So,
Well, how
like,
come one day is $104, but if you want to go 2 days, it's $128? They want more money if you want to be there for 2 days?
Apparently. This is right off their website.
That's retarded, because that was $128 a day, not $128 for the 2 days.
Yes.
Well, buy yourself 2 one-day tickets. Do they give you like a French fry or something in there to help with that cost?
Well, maybe we're reading it wrong.
Okay. Well, in any case, Disney overpriced. Let's just leave it at that. But it's not only overpriced. In China, it's actually a temporary prison that you pay for. Yeah, so a COVID scare traps 33,000 visitors inside Shanghai Disney in a surreal scene. On Sunday, Shanghai Disneyland, a theme park partially owned by entertainment giant Disney, so they don't even own the whole thing. Oh, you know why? China owns the rest.
Oh. Okay.
Probably, because they don't like completely independent businesses there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Promised customers they were in for wicked Halloween surprises. Yeah, safe to say no one expected the biggest shock of the day was the medical staff in hazmat suits conducting masked COVID tests. So this is the funny part. On Sunday, Shanghai Disney went into a partial lockdown after a woman who visited the park on Saturday tested positive for COVID-19. The day before, there was one person out of tens of thousands who tested positive. So the tens of thousands that were there the day after got punished for it by being held until they had their COVID tests. They shut down all indoor venues, stopped allowing new visitors. They kept some of the outdoor attractions going, however, so you could still play around while you're waiting for your turn to have the test. They were testing young children as fireworks were going off overhead. There's like video of it. God. So that's super cool. They shut down a subway line that runs to the park. They sent 220 buses to take visitors into self-isolation. They said Monday that anyone who visited the park on Saturday or Sunday had to stay home for at least 2 days and monitor their health for at least 2 weeks. The park is still shut down, and they will notify guests when they are ready to open up.
Because of one case.
Because of one case. Is the insanity ever going to stop here?
I hope so, but...
I hope so, too. So it said in the article, I didn't get down to this part, but it said that 76% of citizens in China now are actually vaccinated. That's better than us from a percentage standpoint.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody touts that this is the way to fix it and all of that. We're not going to debate that here. But it's interesting that they've got some of the best vaccination stats and everything else, and one person the day before gets something, and then they make 30,000 people pay for it. I'd demand a refund. They'll never get it.
No.
But good Lord.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a denier of any of this. Obviously, you know, it's a thing and it affects people and all of that. But some of the crazy that we're going to, I mean, and what kind of damage will this do to some of these young children who are trying to build memories and stuff like that? Who are now going to look back on their day at Disney World Shanghai, and it's going to be like a freaky thing for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many kids were stuck at home for like a year and couldn't leave the house? So.
Yeah. I mean, on this day, they got greeted by Mickey Mouse and got escorted out by people in hazmat suits.
Yeah.
And then forced to quarantine because they might get the sniffles. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, at some point, the world has to lose its crazy. This doesn't help anything either, because it continues to feed into this kind of fear and paranoia and everything else that keeps us from going back to normal, that keeps us from fixing the things that we covered in the 2 previous segments. The more and more we feed into this insanity, the more and more we live in fear rather than actually go out and live.
Yeah.
The deeper down this rabbit hole we get. And at some point, I don't know that we're going to be able to recover from said rabbit hole. I think we're on the precipice now of, I think it's going to be a lot of decisions that are made within the next 6 to 9 months that are going to determine whether or not we're going to get out of this this fear hole that we continue to travel down.
I would agree.
But I guess we'll see. In the meantime, yet another place I will never visit. Shanghai Disney.
Yeah.
Because you might get stuck there. And nobody wants that.
No.
Alrighty. I think we've beat on negative, unfortunate information enough for today. But we do thank you for listening. Please do take a moment, like, subscribe, share, do all those things that help this podcast, this YouTube, this Rumble show get out in front of more and more people. It really does make a difference. So if you can hook us up and do those things, that would be great.
Yes.
Any final thoughts, Beffin?
No. Hopefully we can have a more positive, at least one segment, and be more positive tomorrow.
I can't control what the world is like.
I know.
See, we try to cover businessy kind of things, which we have this entire episode. It's all businessy kind of stuff. But the problem is there's not a whole lot of positive businessy kind of stuff at the moment. So we have to go a little bit negative. But we present it because perhaps it is a learning opportunity. If enough people see this stuff, they go, that's not right.
Yeah.
And then maybe it'll change. And if you're a business owner, maybe you'll go, I shouldn't operate the way these idiots are.
Yeah.
So that's the hope anyways. All right, enough of us. You guys go have a good day. Again, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.